Hey guys, Ben Nash from Pivot Wealth here, and today I'm talking about some of the key barriers that I see to money success. And now, look, one thing that I should say is that, look, I'm a little biased because this is exactly what we do in terms of helping people with their money, but I have found that it is almost impossible for people to get great financial results by going it all alone. Everything is so complicated these days and so specialized that everything is its own specialty, whether it's marketing or PR or technology or development or all of the things. Money is one of those things. I was doing some research recently, and there are like 10,000 different investment options in Australia. There are hundreds of super funds, hundreds of different options, all these different ideas around strategies and different types of investments and property and all of the things. So I found that it is very difficult for anyone to go it alone unless they've got a financial background and a lot of time that they want to dedicate to this, or unless they're super passionate about money, and in addition to that they're prepared to maybe lose a bit of cash through trial and error and spend a fair bit of their time in doing it, which I'm sort of geek out on that sort of stuff, but I think that for most people that's not really where a lot of the passion lies. Maybe that's reflective of the people that I speak to. But look, anyway, back to the barriers for money success that I see is the first is that I see that people don't want to pay for good advice. And financial advice as an industry has historically been fairly sort of conflicted in terms of the models. We're seeing a lot of stuff off the Royal Commission where the banks and using financial advice as a distribution arm for financial products, whereas for a lot of young people in particular, the best advice and strategies is really not linked to products. But if you go out looking for advice based on the cost, it can force you to, it can lead you to use a shitty advice model, essentially, where there's conflicted payments or hidden agendas and you're getting pushed down a particular path. Now, I mentioned in another video that we can produce a financial plan for next to nothing, but producing a financial plan that is going to be right for you, that you're empowered by and confident in and in the driver's seat, co-creating, where at the end you can have a clear path from where you are to where you want to be and confidence that you'll get there. That's a significantly more involved process. So if that's what you want, like any good service, you can't pay silver and get gold, so be prepared to pay for it. The other thing is that, I suppose the conflicted fee models is a big part of this as well, that sometimes people, if they haven't sought advice before, when they speak to an advisor, they don't ask all the questions that they should about how they're getting paid and what the different sort of implications of that are. Where in the cold light of day, if you understand that there are sales commissions and other fees, then you can see how that might influence the advice that you're getting too. So my tip for that would be to ask the questions up front so that you're clear before you get too far down the path that how the person that you're working with is getting paid. And one of the other big barriers that we see to financial success and jumping into a financial planning process is that people, they don't know what their financial plan is going to look like at the end of the process. Now they want to know, and it's understandable that you want to understand what are the strategies or how will it fit, but the thing is that I think one of the necessary parts of a good financial planning process is that you don't know where it's going to end up until you get into it, because the only way that you can know that is if you already understand all of the strategies, you understand how you feel about them, and you've already sort of made that choice. And if you're at that point, then you're probably not going into the financial planning process in the first place. Now, I always know before we get into this what the levers are that we can use to what the different pathways might look like, but what you will ultimately choose can only happen once you understand those pathways, the financial benefits, the risks, and that you're comfortable with them and have sort of worked them together. So my tip for that is that sometimes you just need to ensure that you've got a good process, like a solid process around the planning, and then jump in knowing that at the end you're going to end up with a plan that's actually going to work for you, but is really based on you The other barrier that I see is really just the urgent versus important. And money is something that's really, really important, but it's never really urgent. So it's easy to let your day-to-day sort of get in the way, and it gets pushed on the back burner, and time goes on. But what really happens is that you're missing the opportunity to be getting better results. So my tip for that is that you need to prioritize your financial success. Put an appointment in your calendar if you have to, where you've got some clear time to focus on your money. No one else is going to do it for you, so you need to make the time, make the commitment, and happen. Once you've got things on track, it's not something that takes a lot of time. So get on the front foot, do that. Focus on the important and don't let the urgent get in the way. Be clear on how someone that you work with is getting paid, and also to make sure that you're at least aware of the advice models and not worried about paying the right price for good help. And you're going to be well placed to push through those barriers to money success and get the results that you want.